Welcome to EternaTales. Tonight, we journey to the twilight courts of an ancient prince whose story has been forgotten by time. Settle in, find your comfort, and let the story begin. Long ago, in a kingdom nestled between misty mountains and vast rivers, there lived a young prince whose name had been lost to history. The palace, a marvel of marble and shadow, towered over the sleeping city. Its spires caught the golden rays of dawn, and the windows reflected the river's gentle flow. Each morning, the prince wandered through the corridors lined with ancestral portraits, listening to the whispered tales of kings and queens who had shaped the kingdom. Though born into privilege, the prince was restless. He often disguised himself as a commoner and wandered into the markets, curious about the lives beyond palace walls. The cobblestone streets bustled with merchants shouting prices, children laughing, and craftsmen hammering their creations. The smells of spices, fresh bread, and leather filled the air, weaving a tapestry of everyday life he had never known. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, the prince discovered an ancient fig tree standing alone at the edge of a quiet square. Beneath its sprawling branches sat an old storyteller, hunched but with eyes shining bright like lanterns in the dark. "Do you wish to hear the forgotten stories of our land?" the man asked. The prince, intrigued, nodded. And so began the first of countless nights when stories became the very heart of his being. The storyteller spoke of empires that rose and fell, of battles fought beneath blood-red skies, of love, betrayal, and sacrifice. Each tale lingered in the prince's mind, seeding curiosity and empathy. For the first time, he realized that history was not written only in grand halls or books, but also in the memories and voices of ordinary people.
Enchanted by the stories, the prince began keeping a secret journal. Each page was filled with the accounts of villagers, travelers, and wandering minstrels. He wrote about the bravery of forgotten soldiers, the quiet sacrifices of healers, and the dreams of children who had never seen the palace gates. He even sketched illustrations of distant mountains, markets, and festivals described to him, capturing the essence of a world he longed to understand. On one rainy afternoon, as water streamed down the palace windows, the prince read the tales aloud to the cats of the palace gardens. Their attentive green eyes seemed to reflect his wonder. He learned how the river that flowed beside the kingdom had once carried messages from neighboring lands, how a baker had secretly fed starving soldiers, and how an anonymous poet had inspired revolts against tyrants long forgotten. During his explorations, the prince discovered a hidden grove outside the northern walls, a place untouched by human feet for decades. Jasmine and wild herbs perfumed the air. At the center stood a fountain whose waters shimmered with a soft luminescence, reflecting moonlight even during the day. Legends whispered that the fountain revealed truths to those who sought wisdom with an open heart. As the prince gazed into the water, he saw visions of his ancestors, from the first kings who had unified scattered tribes to queens who had defended the lands against invaders.
He saw not only victories, but mistakes, betrayals, and moments of mercy that had shaped the kingdom's destiny. The prince realized that leadership was not merely about power, but understanding, empathy, and the careful weaving of stories into the very fabric of the people's lives. Peace, however, was fleeting. In the northern forests, a shadowy figure gathered mercenaries and conspirators, whispering of conquest and dominance. Rumors reached the prince through secret messages sent by loyal villagers. This threat required more than swords and shields. It required insight, strategy, and understanding of the human heart. He convened a council in secrecy, calling upon his most trusted generals, scholars, and the storyteller who had first captivated him. Together, they devised a plan to protect the kingdom. The prince understood that knowledge of history and people was his greatest weapon. Under the cover of night, the prince left the palace. He traveled across villages, mountains, and forests, meeting farmers, artisans, and elders. Each encounter added new pages to his journal. He learned about forgotten skirmishes, minor acts of heroism, and ordinary lives that had quietly shaped the kingdom. He marveled at small acts of kindness, a baker offering bread to strangers, a healer tending to wounded animals, children singing songs of hope despite hardship. These glimpses into humanity's resilience and compassion became the cornerstone of the prince's strategy to unite hearts, not only armies. Weeks later, the prince confronted the northern mercenaries. But instead of raising swords, he spoke of history, compassion, and shared humanity. Tales of past kings who sought peace over war, of betrayals that caused needless bloodshed, and of ordinary heroes who shaped the world resonated with both mercenaries and citizens. Slowly, distrust faded and understanding blossomed. The mercenaries laid down their arms, inspired by stories rather than threats. The prince returned to the palace not merely as a ruler, but as a guardian of stories. He established a great hall where villagers, scholars, and travelers could share their tales, ensuring that even the smallest acts of courage and kindness were remembered. Though history books would eventually forget his name, the stories he preserved endured, whispered across generations. The Forgotten Prince taught that greatness lies not in titles or wealth, but in understanding, compassion, and the narratives we leave behind. Each life carries stories worth telling, and each story strengthens the fabric of time. Thank you for listening to The Forgotten Prince. Offer yourself this moment of calm. Invite dreams gently, and when you're ready, drift into sleep. We'll meet again at EternaTales.